Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentry. We're back in the saddle for another picks episode, folks. Week 2 in college football as we're getting into it now. I mean, Tyson and I, we record these on Thursday. And it just feels like as soon as you get back into the rhythm of college, you watch the games on Saturday, you watch the games on Sunday as we're getting ready for NFL, and you're right back in here doing it again. So we're in the thick of things now.
Oh, dude, it's a machine.
It is a machine. And Tyson's been a machine to start this year, folks. And so you know what we do? We don't hide away from anything that we have going on here. So let's hit the recap screen from last week. I went 4-3, down 0.38 units. And that's because I missed my play of the week on Texas money line. And so we went over kind of how Arch Manning looked, all that as we recapped week 1. So that was a tough thing for me. Tyson did a mano-a-mano, so he's up a mano-a-mano on me, so I'll keep track of that. But I also missed Baylor money line. That was a tough showing from that defense. And then Alabama minus 13.5, just no-showed on that front. That was brutal. But got Tennessee minus 13.5 home. Got Oregon minus 26.5 home on a line that should not have been that against Montana State. My state schools, Tyson's making fun of me, but UTSA, Texas A&M, they go over 56.5. We get some good offense from both schools there. So that was something. And how about TCU? After the 7-point barrage from North Carolina, everybody's crowning Bill Belichick. They score 41 unanswered. We have a rocking chair play on Monday night. So 4-3 week for me.
Yeah, attaboy. And I went 4-1 this week, and I'm only up 2.01 units because I also lost my play of the week, our little double unit action. Look, I was all over Bama, and I was dead wrong, and I'm happy to be dead wrong. I got LSU, Clemson team total in the first half under 29.5 home pretty easily. Oregon minus 26.5. Didn't that feel nice, dude? We won that bet on the first drive of the game. It was like the first snap. It was like, nice, we're home. Tennessee minus 13.5 got scary until this thing turned green. And then, Brad, I should have made Ohio State money line my play of the week. I mean, I really had 3 rocking chair plays this week. It's just unfortunate.
Well, if you would have mano-a-mano against me in the play of the week, that would have been something else. But Tyson, he has some level of respect for me, folks. But he told me before we jumped on, he's not giving the box back to me this week, and it's because he's carrying this podcast right now. He's up 2.91 units through week 2. I'm down 1.54. But as a podcast, it's a good start. We are up 1.37, so much better than we had to start last year. So I think that's a positive sign as we roll into week 2. But without further ado, Tyson, you guys know what time it is.
It's money-making time.
And Tyson's got the T-box as he keeps it rolling here. What's your play of the week?
My play of the week, I'm going with the Cyhawk, dude. I'm going with Iowa State minus 3.5. Did you watch any of that Iowa football game?
I had it on the small screen, and it did not look pretty.
I'm over here all offseason. Mark Granowski's a good player. This guy can play. He's going to look better than any Iowa quarterback's looked in a little while. Not so far. And Iowa State was impressive to start their season. Rocco's a pretty good player. I think Iowa State gets it done here pretty easy.
That's an interesting line there too, Tyson, because the road teams have been the successful ones in this, and this could potentially buck the trend. So I'm curious about that. I'm just going to watch that because I think we're going to learn a lot more. I'm going to go to my bread and butter. I've been the play of the week, so I'm going to go to Penn State minus 41.5, minus 110 against at BetMGM. So they didn't cover last week against Nevada. James Franklin loves covering numbers on the non-con and against teams he should because sports betting's legal in Pennsylvania. And a lot of those people that show up love putting money on the Nittany Lions. This is going to be a bloodbath against Florida International. Now, there's a new head coach. They were able to keep some of their best players. And so the vibes are high, right? They had a great show against Bethune-Cookman, a little, South Miami, little South Florida type of battle. But listen, they're going to roll into Happy Valley. Penn State's going to put a number up on them. They were lacking explosive plays against Nevada. That's because Nevada want to do that. You're familiar with Jeff Choate. He's a very good head coach. I think it's a good thing that Florida International comes in this game like, oh, no, we're playing good. We're trying to shock the world, because then maybe they get a little aggressive, right? Like they're not just going to sit in that too high shell. They're going to try to do certain things, and Penn State's going to try to push the pace. And then if the backups go in, Tyson, there's a quarterback 2 battle taking place between the backups here. James Franklin was throwing the rock around. They want to see who's going to be in the 2 deep, in the 3 deep going forward for this long season. So this is an extended preseason for Penn State. I think they put one on Florida International.
Who was the kid last year or was it 2 years ago? Penn State backup that came in that everyone just loved.
Oh, Prabula, he's at Missouri now.
You hate him. I just basically
I like quarterbacks who can
about
throw the football. Tyson,
you hate that. That's like number one thing I remember about that. My next play here, I'm going with the team total over. It's for Texas here. Sorry, I got the slip misconstrued, but I think Texas, it's 44.5. I think they're going to make a point to score as many points as they can. Let's work out the kinks a little bit. Maybe, the playbook can stay conservative, but maybe open it up just a little bit more just to see what you have. And even if you stay conservative, I think that this is a message sending time. I'm not playing around with the spread. I think Texas is going to score 7 touchdowns.
I wish I could play that. I'm here in Arizona now, and I can't do college team totals, which is frustrating for me because I would be all over this play. But if I can't bet it, I'm not going to give it out to you guys. So that's where I'm at. We'll let Tyson do it. He has access, and so he's going to be playing that number. My next one, let's have a little Friday Night Lights action, and let's go James Madison and Louisville over 55.5 minus 108 on DraftKings. Okay, the unders were coming over in week 1. Okay. Let's knock the rust off. Let's get this action going. These are 2 explosive offenses. And Louisville, we talked about Jeff Brom when he was at Purdue. He's got the horses now at Louisville to compete in the ACC. And James Madison, Tyson's familiar with them from their days in the FCS, and they came up to the FBS level, and they've just kept this thing rolling. Even without Cignetti, this baby has been an explosive offense. And Louisville's defense, there's always much to be desired. Like, yes, they get havoc plays, but I think havoc plays aren't going to be a bad thing here. Like if you're getting major 3rd and 18s from your side of the field and you create a short field for your opponent who can go and score quickly, I like that in this game. So I think we're going to see a show here in Kentucky as Louisville and James Madison go up and down the field and go over 55.5.
You were driving the Miller Moss Heisman bus, dude, and I love it. Speaking of the buses, dude, give me Nussmeier and the boys to put up over 43.5 this week for LSU. This is another thing where, look, they won the game and the offense looked much better in the second half, but I think they want to iron some things out as well. The running game looked good for LSU, but let's work a little bit. Let's get some running in that pass game. And I think that Aaron Anderson, all the guys like Green, all these dudes are going to find their way in the end zone. I think LSU also scores 7 touchdowns.
And I think if they get out to a fast start too, they got Florida on deck. Like get out quick, and you don't have to worry about it and put the backups in. We know LSU's got talent. So I love this line. These are 2 things I circled. I just can't play it. And Tyson said I'm playing these. I'm like, oh man, I'm jealous. So I think you're gonna be a little perturbed by this one, but I'm taking Liberty minus 6.5, minus 115 MGM on the road, going to face Jacksonville State. So why are we doing this here? Liberty had a bad season last year, did not look good in week 1. So why am I laying it on the road? Well, Jamie Chadwell, I still believe in as a head coach. This is an experienced team against a team in Jacksonville State who lost their head coach in Rich Rod. There's a lot of moving parts down in Jacksonville State. So yes, it looked good against UCF, but that also was against a Scott Frost coach team, Tyson. And we had one good season of Scott Frost, and the rest have been below average. So I'm looking at Liberty and how they can attack things here. They're 59th in pass EPA, 54th in rush EPA. Again, it's after 1 week, but against a defense, it's 127th in pass EPA and 18th in run EPA. I'm calling a little BS on that. So I think Liberty is going to be able to score points. And this defense, if they can stop the run, if they can do a better job in stacking the box against Jacksonville State, that passing attack is not good. So I think Liberty is going to go down and win a big game here, at least for them. Get the stink out of their mouth, get the bad taste out of their mouth, and let's get off to a good start.
And Jacksonville State's defense is going to shut these guys down. You're going to come over to the I hate Liberty side of things with me.
What else you got, Tyson?
I think I'm done.
No, you got Vandy, right?
Oh, I got – geez Louise, my bad. Under 47.5 in Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech. Did you watch that Virginia Tech offense? Like we were in it a week ago. We wanted the over in that South Carolina game, and South Carolina is a higher quality of opponent, I think, than Vanderbilt. But look, Kyron Jones had a hard time getting going. I think he's going to have a hard time getting going against Vanderbilt. And then we can't dunk on Castellanos all offseason for the things that he said, and then he delivered, and not at least mention that Diego Pavia talked a bunch this offseason too, and he didn't look like a world beater in week 1. And now they got 6 guys suing the NCAA from Vanderbilt for trying to get extra eligibility. I just personally I don't think this is a 7 touchdown football game.
That's it. And Virginia Tech's got to win this game, man. I mean, Brent Pry, he could be on the hot seat. He could be gone. This is a must win. Maybe. That's what Diego
he said.
Bobby wants you to believe. All right, so Tyson's got 4 plays. He's done naturally. I got a bunch I'm going to roll through, so I'm going to get Tyson's thoughts as I go through them. My first one, this is pretty straightforward. I'm laying it with Indiana minus 35.5, minus 105 on DraftKings. Listen, Kennesaw State is not a good football team. 𝐼𝐶 was pissed off that they did not have a good showing in week 1. I mean, this is going to be belt to ass. For Mendoza, listen, he's a talented guy, former 5-star, high 4-star. I forget what his actual rating was, but a good player that is transferred in from Cal, but he doesn't have the experience of Curtis Rourke. The ceiling's higher for Mendoza, but the experience isn't quite there. Another week under their belt, being able to finish in the red zone. I think this thing could get ugly. The defense still looks solid for Indiana. So I think this is going to be like, hey, remember us, we can blow teams out.
I think that you took this play strictly so you could mention your Cal Golden Bears.
Oh man, dude. I think we're gonna be playing them a lot this year. At least I'm going to be. Tyson, this one's an interesting play because I'm going to lay another road team here, minus 8.5 with Ole Miss, minus 110 on FanDuel going into Kentucky. Now, these games have been the kryptonite for Lane Kiffin throughout his career. It's always like a 3-point game, 5-point game, 1 score, things like that. So why in the world will I lay this, especially when they have to go on the road? Do we all remember when the wheels fell off for Ole Miss last year? Oh, that's right. It was Kentucky inexplicably with that horrendous team upset Ole Miss. You don't think Lane Kiffin has this thing circled. You don't think Ole Miss has this thing circled. Chopping at the bit to get this thing going. Now, I'm not saying Kentucky's not ready to pull off another one, but 𝐷𝐸, is that who we're hitching our wagon to? The transfers for Ole Miss, we got to see. Like we talked about this coming into the season. Like if you're going to be putting together your roster with transfers, I think the talent level is getting lesser and lesser in the portal. So we'll see how that impacts Ole Miss from a high-end standpoint from national championship game. But the roster is better than what Kentucky has. The offense is better than what Kentucky has. And I think Lane Kiffin's not going to be afraid to run up the score here, make sure that, hey, no, we remember what you did to us last year. So I'm going to lay the points with Ole Miss.
You got more guts than I do.
This one doesn't seem to take a lot of guts, Tyson. I'm going to lay minus 27.5, minus 112 on DraftKings with Oregon against Oklahoma State. So let's think this through. Last week, the books had Oregon as 26.5 points favorites against Montana State. They're at home, Oregon was. Now they're at home against Oklahoma State. Are we really saying that Montana State, who lost their best quarterback in program history, is 1 point better than Oklahoma State? I'm having a hard time buying that. So based on that, and especially when I'm looking at the power rankings, one of them that I use has the spread at 36.75. The other one's at 26.15. But Dan Lanning, Tyson, we know takes things personally. And your boy Gundy has been, we don't have the money like they do, yada. Oh, I'm sorry. When T. Boone Pickens was around and you guys had $1 billion or whatever the hell, and you guys seem to be pretty good and seem to be pretty happy that you had the advantage on that front. So now Gundy's crying himself a river here. Oh, well, listen, dude, welcome to the real world of college football. And I think Oregon remembers that, and they're going to lay one here on him.
I mean, we might have to put a QR code on the back of the helmet to pay for Gundy's buyout. Actually, he gave money back to the university. They're good.
This one's just a principal play. UAB Navy over 58.5 minus 110 of MGM. Tyson, until Trent Dilfer, and I like Trent Dilfer. A lot of people hate him. Until he's no longer the head coach at UAB, I am playing the over every single game that they're involved. I don't care if it's 80. Like, remember with North Texas last year? I'm like, we're just playing the over. And it actually was some of my best plays. And that's going to be what we do at UAB. Plus this Navy offense, yes, they like to run the football. They run the football explosively. And they're going to run all over this UAB defense. We've got a hard time with the SWA&x school. Yeah, and UAB is going to be able to score the football. Like, we know that. But Navy's going to score a ton on them. This is going to be a track meet.
I'm more interested in the line of Navy team total rushing yards.
I'd
they're going to get like 350.
Cincinnati minus 22.5, minus 110 on FanDuel against Bowling Green. Eddie George is a legend. Eddie George, I think, Tyson, you know more about it because he's coming up from the FCS level, but I think he's going to be able to do a good job at Bowling Green, but not in year one and not against a Cincinnati team where there's a ton of pressure on Scott Satterfield, when there's a ton of pressure on them having a good showing in the ACC. That offense did not look good last week. I expect that to change against this Bowling Green team. Brendan Sorsby was able to run the football effectively, was not able to pass the ball effectively. I think we see a return to the passing attack for Cincy. We see a better offensive performance. And so I'm going to lay the points here, 22.5 with Cincinnati.
Yeah, and look, dude, he got Tennessee State rolling. He came in there, and this program stunk. And then when they win 9 games and made the playoff, they ended up losing to a team that went to the national championship game. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility he gets Bowling Green turned around, but it's not on Saturday.
Second to last one, West Virginia, Ohio over 60.5 minus 108 on DraftKings. The quarterback for Ohio, I'm drawing a blank now. I just had it on the tip of my tongue here. Parker Navarro. That dude is a guy, man. Like, he might be the best player in the MAC. So at home, after what they just did to a Rutgers defense, which everybody had pretty high hopes for coming in, Big Ten athletes, things like that. You got West Virginia who's got a ton of transfers coming in. Yes, Rich Rod's back, and it's a great story. I don't know if this thing's ready to go off the bat, and it didn't look like it in their first game against Jacksonville State. So I think there's going to be a ton of points here scored by Ohio. Now, on the flip side, Ohio's defense is a sieve, and Rich Rod's the offensive mind. The offense is going to be able to score points. They want to go fast. They want to have tempo. So I think it's not going to be sitting on the ball here. We're going to see a lot of explosives. We're going to see the ball going up and down the field. It's just, can we punch it into the end zone at this number? I think we see it, and I think we go over 60.5.
This is one of those games I got circled as maybe a little upset play that I'll have to place on Saturday morning.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you there too. I was like, I think the safer play is to bet the over, but I think Ohio is a live dog. And then last one for me here, it's another principal play. If you see UNLV, I'm betting the over. And it didn't get home against Sam Houston last week, Tyson, and that's because the freaking clock went out at the Houston Dynamo Stadium that Sam Houston has to play in. So here's the thing. Are we sure that the clock was even accurate? You know, like, they almost got home. I think that people got hooked, and it was like a complete joke. I don't know if my heart can handle another clock malfunction, because I was like, what are we doing here? Especially when you got the over. So that was something I don't want to experience again. But we're at Allegiant Stadium, an NFL arena. UCLA is coming in here with that defense that got shredded up by Utah. But that offensive line for UCLA was really the scary thing. And Nico's running around for his life. Tyson's like, I don't know, maybe he's just not that good. I'm like, well, we'll see this week when he plays UNLV, because there's going to be no pressure on him. He's going to have lanes to throw. So we're really going to understand if Nico can play or not this week. So this is a low total for me. I'd be comfortable playing it up to 60. I think they're going to go up and down the field.
I love it. 60. Let's go.
Okay. So classic with Tyson having 4 plays, me having double that. But last week we did not get home the parlay that we had, Tyson. So as we're looking here, as we're looking at our recap.
Not even close.
Tennessee minus 13.5. That was sweaty, but I got home. Alabama minus 13.5. Blitzed, not even close. Oregon minus 26.5. Rocking chair play. And Virginia Tech, South Carolina over 48.5. I honestly do think, though, if Virginia Tech improved in the red zone, like, maybe we're having a different conversation.
Close. Yeah.
But we went 2-2, did not get home that parlay.
2-2 is not a great record on a parlay. I'm sick. I don't want to look at this Red X ever again.
Let's try to change that, because we got our week 2 parlay here, Tyson. And why don't you take us through which ones we're playing here?
Oregon minus 27.5. Brad walked through that. It just there's a couple principal plays on here, and then there's the UCLA UNLV over. Brad walked through that as well. Clemson minus 17.5 in the first half of their game this weekend. Look, they're playing Troy, and it's one of those things where Clemson is 31.5, and Clemson should smoke them. But Clemson didn't cover big numbers a year ago. We both think this team is going to come out maybe with a little something to prove after last Saturday. And I think they're going to score 21, 28 points in the first half, and I don't think Troy's finding the end zone or kicking a field goal. And then Colorado minus 23.5. It's Delaware. Like, they're going to roll out a 5-star quarterback. Like, let's do the Colorado thing again. Get really excited when this offense puts up 55 points, and then, it'll come crashing back down to earth. But you got to snipe these things sometimes. Yeah,
I was kind of surprised that Tyson and I are looking this over, and we're like, what do we want to throw in here? I'm like, ooh, that Colorado game is interesting. And if you're watching on YouTube, the 17.5, that's in the first half. So I apologize for not putting that in the graphic.
We have every time slot covered for you here. If you want to wake up, if you want to play a 4-leg parlay basically all day, you can do that. UCLA UNLV is not getting over till 11:30 where I live.
Yeah, so you're gonna be enthralled for the entire day, and a little hedging opportunity too, because the UCLA UNLV game's late. Plus 1538 on FanDuel, using the 50% profit boost that they are offering for week 2. Again, it's Oregon minus 27.5, Colorado minus 23.5, Clemson minus 17.5 in the first half, and then UCLA, UNLV over 54.5. All right. Tyson has been hot. You're talking about waking up on Saturday and figuring out some other plays you want to play. Where can they find those if you do add me?
It'll be in the Discord app. Group name is I Said What I Said. Look, dude, the NFL starts on Sunday too. So we want to know not only what you're playing on Saturday, but we want to watch you guys roll over some 4 or 5 leg parlays from Saturday into Sunday, triple the money, and then everybody's feeling good. I think that this is one of the most fun weekends in all of, sports, because it's only been 8 months, dude, or 6 months, but I feel like we've been starved of this. So just veg out on the couch all weekend with us.
And in the meantime, like, subscribe, and share the show. Tyson mentioned the NFL. We're also doing week 1 NFL betting show. We're doing a different thing on that front as well. We got 2 other things. We know you guys love playing player props, love TD props. So we got you on that front, as we're going to play each and every week. And so smash the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing that we do. Anything that comes out, we react to what takes place on the gridiron over the weekend. Like the video if you're watching on YouTube, 5 stars if you haven't, in podcast form. And then share it with a friend, share it with an enemy, share it with your parents or brother or sister, however you want to do it. We do appreciate all the support you guys give. Again, pay attention to the NFL when we got coming out. Let's have a good season. We'll talk to you guys when we talk to you. Peace.